Welcome back. Now, don't mind me. I'm over here spazzing out, wishing death, a painful death, for all dogs, however it may happen. With that said, as always, I do not suggest anyone go out and break the law by launching random unprovoked attacks on dogs the way that they do to us. Stay mindful that this is against the law. However, if you're under attack, the law says you can neutralize that mutant. You can delete that mutant using a firearm or any other weapon that you may have. And I 100% wish death on any dog that attacks a person. That dog deserves to die. And for all these other worthless pieces of trash, dog mutant parasites, they all deserve to be rounded up, taken to a shelter, and euthanized. If dog lovers were smart, that is exactly what they would do, rather than allowing that dog to exist as a parasite, leeching resources from themselves and their families. No matter what setting you may be talking about, dogs are better off dead. Not in a shelter, because in a shelter, they're still functioning as parasites, leeching off our resources. Do you understand? Not as strays, because they refuse to leave our territory and continue to leech off our resources and spread germs, diseases, and launch numerous attacks. No matter where you're talking about, no matter what setting, dogs are better off dead. And I want dog lovers to understand I can prove that. That is a fact. I'm not sharing an opinion with any of you. Death to all dogs, worthless pieces of trash. Now, this article surfaced a few hours ago, maybe 3 to 4 hours ago, in the Telegraph. Dog owner left a man for dead after her Rottweiler mauled him. This man was a maintenance worker. He had been hired to maintain a bike path in the woods, and the property was owned by some, well-off individual. And this man had maintained this bike path for 13 years. And as he was doing his job, this airheaded broad came walking with her parasite. Okay? Here it is right here. Nick Evans, 31 years old, working on the privately owned land when a passing woman's dog broke free from her grip and started attacking him. Again, proving the worthlessness of leashes. And let me digress briefly. For any of you who claim that I get online and say the same thing over and over, share attacks and get upset with them, prove that you can maintain a successful channel before you try to tell me how to govern mine. That's first of all. Second of all, as you see in the title, dog culture does not stop. The attacks don't stop, and these nutters do not stop promoting these things. So don't expect me to stop. I keep up with current events, and I'm going to speak on all of them. You don't like it, beat it. That's what this channel is about. The dog, which Mr. Evans said looked like a Rottweiler mixed breed, caused injuries to his hip, leg, and wrist, and has left him with no feeling in one of his hands. Keep in mind, this is a maintenance man. What kind of effect do you think that has when a maintenance man suffers a hand injury? That's a permanent change to your entire life. That's what that is. He had been working on maintaining this bike trail, which he had been doing for the past 13 years with the permission of the landowner. Mr. Evans, the victim, said, I was there doing some maintenance, and a lady came walking by with a Rottweiler type dog that was not muzzled, and she did not realize that I was there. He said, I popped up to say hello, and the dog broke free from her grip. It just had a little lead on. Again, proving the worthlessness of leashes. Again, proving that there's no such thing as a responsible dog owner. I'm sick of these deranged people and their delusional statements. Responsible dog owner. Shut up with that. Stupid degenerates. I'm in the mood now. I'm sick of these degenerate dirtbags. I don't feel like being nice to people who constantly getting other innocent people hurt. You are a legit brainless dirtbag. He said that the dog sniffed on him, and he then asked the owner if the dog was safe. She told him not to touch the dog. But keep in mind, she told him not to touch the dog after the dog had already broken loose from her grip and was already invading his space. So he's already being victimized. He's already on the defensive and most likely in fight or flight. The dog approaches him, invades his space. He asks her, is this dog safe? Because I see it just broke free and ran up to me. She says, don't touch it. Like, wow, really? Don't touch it. Mr. Evans, the victim, said he then backed up against a tree, and then the dog launched an unprovoked attack on him. Yet again, you worthless pieces of trash dog experts. Y'all deserve nothing but smoke too. I'm sick of being nice to you degenerate subhuman pieces of trash who out here, you see what's going on and you constantly putting out lies to further deceive people. You are a bunch of degenerates as well. The victim said that the dog took a chunk out of his hip and chunks out of his leg, hand and wrist. He screamed, tried to wrestle the dog away as the woman stood by. Yeah, I bet she did. That's what they usually do. They get scared of their own dog. They're scared of any dog that's in attack mode. Another reason why they have no business keeping them as pets. And the reason why this is not the first time you've heard me say that and refer to this scenario as proving that it's the reason why they shouldn't be pets. That's because the scenario keeps repeating itself. These dog owners continue to prove my points. So I'm going to point it out each time I'm proven right. You idiot. Eventually, she managed to restrain this parasite. And she told the victim to get away. And then she jumped over a fence and left him bleeding for dead. He's doing his job. Her dog breaks free, mauls him. She runs away, tells the victim, get away. She told him get away because he was walking, bleeding, asking for her information. These people are evil. This is what it is. I'm not about to tiptoe and be nice to a bunch of devils. These nutters are demonic. I don't care what nobody say. They deserve smoke. They deserve a lot more than what you hear on this channel. I ain't doing nothing but talking. One of the neighbors nearby heard him screaming, came over to help. She said the woman left him to bleed out in the woods and pretty much left him for dead. Okay, does that sound like the actions of a good-hearted person? I bet you anything. She's all over social media projecting herself as a nice person. And her dog as a harmless pooch. Another reason why I cannot stand these people. And it's easy to deceive young people on social media with these stupid videos and photos where they find a few seconds where the dog is not attacking someone. So after he was attacked, he's bleeding out. They tried to follow this lady and begged for her details. However, the woman told the victim to get away and threatened to set the dog on him again. Yeah, I have a whole lot of hatred for evil people. If you don't like it, beat it. They deserve hate. As long as you spew out hate, you deserve it right back at you. It's called karma. This is disgusting. Your dog just mauled a man. You run away and threaten to set it on him again? And if she would have been caught, she would have got a slap on her wrist. Probably a fine and gone about her business. At this point, he was bleeding so much he had to go to the hospital. No more chasing her for her details. He was fast-tracked once he got to the hospital, but he suffered nerve damage to his right wrist and lost all feeling in his hand. Again, go back to the fact this is a maintenance worker. So he is now what? Unable to work. The doctor said the feeling will come back, but there's a chance it's permanent damage. He said he can't cook, he can't shower, or dress himself at the moment. It's a direct quote from him. All my hobbies involve tools. I do car mechanics and restore classic cars as a hobby, so I can't do any of that. Doctor said the healing time should be around 3 months, but to get full feeling back could be up to a year. And these disgusting, deranged, brainwashed nutters, and I don't care if they are brainwashed, that broad know right from wrong. I don't want to hear nothing about her being oh, take it easy on her IHD. She's just brainwashed. Get out of here. You know right from wrong. Your dog maul somebody, you run away like a degenerate devil. How many of y'all saw this other story? And this also highlights the fact we need to understand every time we step outside, we are at war. That's a battlefield. That's not the great outdoors. That's not the neighborly block. No, that's a war zone because of these people. The owners of these parasites have turned our neighborhoods into war zones. You can't trust any area outside. You understand that? You cannot trust any area outside. Even if you want to go on your front porch, you have to be armed. Do I need to share video of dogs running up on people's porch? How many of y'all saw this video that surfaced a few days ago where this woman was killed? She was walking to work. It's a very creepy video. Torn apart by a pack of wild dogs. She was on her way to work. Before and during the attack, she made a phone call begging for help. Okay? I can't pronounce her name. It looks like Zana Kusinova. Discovered in a patch of wasteland in Russia. 48 years old, covered in bites. One leg was severed and her scalp was missing. CCTV footage before the attack showed her hurrying to work in a dark green jacket. But it was seconds later that the what? Trained aviation engineer was viciously attacked by dogs. Now, this is the attack victim. Again, this took place in Russia. Now, you're about to see an uncomfortable sight here, but this is the result of brainwashing. This is her right here, enjoying the company of the parasites that took her life, treating these parasites as if they're harmless, rather than treating them like the enemies that they are. Even in the moments when they're not attacking anyone, these are your enemies. We should be taught this in elementary school, in preschool. Speaking of preschool and schools in general, we're going to get to something. Be careful. I shared this in the community section, this right here, where a 4-year-old in Russia was also mauled by a pack of dogs. This 4-year-old went up to try to befriend the dogs, exactly like they teach you to do in these stupid schools. The scenario that played out in this attack, those of you, I'm sure you've seen it, is exactly what I described. They teach these young people to approach these things to increase the chances they'll be attacked. But check out the phone call. The line was bad when she called. And the operator initially thought she was reporting a fire in a sauna. She got a report of a lady being attacked by dogs confused with a fire in a sauna. The victim said, "The dogs are attacking me." And the operator said, "What is burning? Is the sauna on fire?" Talk about the wrong time for a misunderstanding. She then pleaded for help as barking was heard in the background. She said again, "Dogs attacking me a lot. No, Dogs are attacking. Help! Help! She explained she was near an industrial base in Kazan. But then the line went dead. Help! Help! I'm near an industrial plant. Then the line went dead. She was found hours later. Hours later. Wonder how long it took her to pass. You think anybody cares? There's her boot. Do you think anybody cares? It appeared she had dropped her phone as she ran from the dogs. And the dogs were a well-known problem in the area. But because people look at them as man's best friend, nobody did anything about it. Stop accepting barks as a part of nature. I've heard several nutters say that. Oh, that's just what they do. Yeah, they just make threats, and launch lethal attacks. So you know what else we do or they do? Die. You want to launch random unprovoked attacks? You run up on the wrong person, you die. And once these things are gone, no longer on this earth, they're no longer a problem, no longer leeching on our resources, spreading diseases, or attacking anyone. No matter who you are, even if you're a dog lover, you are enjoying a higher quality of life with that thing dead. Uncomfortable facts for dog owners. Dogs are better off dead. A good dog is a dead dog. Now, with these stories in mind, this is something else that I do regularly. I share these stories. I share these reports because they do. As you see, this was uploaded 3 weeks ago. They don't stop bringing dogs into schools, brainwashing people when they're extremely young and vulnerable. They don't stop. And each time they do this, they brainwash more and more people. Each new school they bring these dogs into, more and more youngsters are brainwashed to believe they're harmless and encouraged to walk up to them when they see them. They don't stop, so I don't stop.
Decades of research has shown that dogs can help people, including therapy dogs, in schools. 12 News' Barbara Ron has the story now of how Belington Middle and Elementary Schools celebrated the arrival of a new four-legged staff member today with the main job of giving hugs.
Look at that. Do not tell me you're about to bring a dog in there and force all of them, and that's what these nutter adults do. They force all of them to rub on it and interact with it. Their mortal enemy. These people you see on your screen are the most attacked demographic by these parasites. It is unacceptable, 100%, to teach them to view dogs in a positive way. They need to be taught at ages even younger than this. The dogs are your mortal enemies. Stay away from them.
This pup rally is how therapy dog Gia was greeted by the hundreds of new family members she will now get to comfort and deliver cuddles to every day.
Unbelievable.
You can just help people, like when they're having bad days and everything, just make them feel better.
Gia is the 39th pup delivered throughout the 3-year.
Do you see what they're doing? They're forcing the students to walk in a single file line, take turns rubbing on it. So they don't only want the students to see the dog. They want to trick them to think that dogs are friendly by saying, hey, come rub it, each one of you.
Gia is the 39th pup delivered throughout the 3-year run of the Friends with Paws program as part of the Communities in Schools.
Now, if that worthless killer was dead, these students would not be getting brainwashed to view their number one mortal enemy as their best friends. Don't tell me that would not be beneficial. It most certainly would be beneficial. If every dog on this earth was dead and these things did not exist, they would not be currently getting brainwashed to view their number one mortal enemy, number one aggressor, as their best friend. It's ridiculous that even dog trainers offer classes to train their desire to attack youngsters out of them.
Communities in Schools, with First Lady Kathy Justice in attendance to personally present Gia to the...
Look at that. And they brought a large dog in there, which teaches the youngsters what? No matter the size is irrelevant. They're all harmless. They're all cute and cuddly. When you see them, ask permission to pet them. Young people, understand. Dogs attack you more than anybody else. And most attacks take place inside the home. It's the same dogs that you live with. Leading the way. Because inside the home, their instinct is to function like a brood parasite. Eliminate competition. And even when they don't, even if they don't attack you, you all know full well the dog acts as a wedge between your relationship with your parents. Because they're going to always prop the dog up and make the dog the center of attention, which is a form of abuse called neglect. You don't divide your parental love, attention with foreigners. That's a parasite. Just like the birds will get rid of a foreign egg. This is a part of nature to not divide yourself as a parent with foreigners. So I'm telling you, these dog culture in general, they are backwards. They operate against the universe itself. They rotate the opposite direction of the universe. These are backwards people.
Very excited students, faculty, and staff.
This is what they teach your kids in school. This is why I will never, if I have kids, they will never go to no public school system. I will never relinquish my kids to be under the care and instruction of these degenerate dirtbags. Ever. And all of you old adult nutters, you deserve to be called degenerate dirtbags. We've been in an internet age for well over 2 decades. You've had plenty of opportunity to do proper research on how dangerous these things are and who they attack most of the time. And you have not taken it upon yourself to do any of that research, or you know about it and don't care. A degenerate.
The dogs seem to bring a soothing atmosphere to the schools.
Listen to this old dirt bag. You nasty hag, shut up. Pathetic, you are this old and still this dumb. Lying. Dogs make people nervous. They do not relax anyone. Anyone. Don't talk to me about no study. Prove it by checking their blood pressure. Tell me these things calm anybody down. Especially young people. They're nervous as all get up around these things. So is everybody else.
A soothing atmosphere to the schools. The attendance is better. Attendance is a huge problem in every school. So the kids literally want to come to school to see the dogs.
No, you disgusting piece of trash. The school is for the kids. The kids are supposed to be the center of attention. The school is about them, not no flipping dog. Random YouTubers should not have to tell you this, you degenerate.
The attendance is better. Attendance is a huge problem in every school. So the kids literally want to come to school to see the dogs. So listen, if that's what it takes, we're going to
See, and their con is they have such a weak con. They could easily say the kids come to school to see the hamster. The kids come to school to see and play with the rabbit. Something harmless. But rather than choosing a harmless pet, y'all choose the most deadly. Like a bunch of brainless degenerates. It's no secret, the lethal capability of dogs is not shrouded in mystery. You see the fangs, you know what dogs are capable of, but yet you're still such a delusional degenerate.
school to see the dogs. So listen, if that's what it takes, we're going to do every little thing that we can.
Today was the first day that Gia got to meet the kids in person. And as they were walking in the building, kids who come in grumpy, upset, they come in smiling. They were loving on her.
Ain't no kids coming into school grumpy and upset, you lying degenerate. Shut up. And if you, as the teachers, can't keep them in a good mood, can't make them want to come to school, that means you are not doing your job. And if you're so pathetic and inadequate and incompetent as teachers and principals, and you just need a pet to make them want to come to school, get a rabbit. Get something harmless that's not responsible for the majority of attacks on them. Degenerates.
Smiling, they were loving on her. It made her day better. So.
Loving on her. Some of these students barely touch these things, barely tap them and keep walking. So stop lying.
And that's our hope. It just helps one kid at a time.
Gia is the first dog delivered to Barber County schools. And Superintendent Eddie Vincent says he handpicked Belington Middle as her primary assignment, as he saw the need for the students. But even with her main school, Vincent says Gia will visit all schools in the county.
Yeah, and they don't stop. This was 3 weeks ago. How many more schools do you think's been visited by these parasites between that time, now and 3 weeks ago?
She'll be at ball games and special events, and hopefully everybody kind of takes ownership. And
Yeah. Rubbing on something that is not affectionate at all. Don't tell me that helps them. And you can tell that they're rubbing it just because they have to. A quick brush across the head and they're gone.
All schools in the county.
she'll be at ball games and special events. And
You can tell they're just doing what they're told to do, which is pathetic. Just a brainwashing process. Yeah, I got all kinds of smoke for dog culture. Can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. I don't want to hear no lecture from you soft dog lovers. Get out of here.
And hopefully everybody kind of takes ownership in her.
Justice says the
Look at it, the medication kicking in. Because now is not the time when a dog should be relaxed. It's ever relaxed when it's not drugged up. In a brand new environment around a whole bunch of strange people. The only way this thing can be laid out like this is if it's drugged up. So what are they doing? Giving the students a false impression of dog behavior, which only serves to help to get them attacked sometime in the future.
The operation will deliver the last 16 dogs to the remaining counties by the end of the year, as each county will receive at least one dog.
You know, they're children that...
Look at that. They're touching it for about 2 seconds and walking on. Oh, the dog is doing so much for them. School is the worst place for a child because of these nutters. Without the nutters there, school would be just fine. These dog lovers ruin schools. They ruin them. And I would never, never allow my child to attend a public school.
Just don't get a hug every day. We want to make sure that that happens for the...
And then you talking about hugging a dog, you ignorant hag. Don't even do their research on dogs. You should know that you're not supposed to hug dogs. That makes dogs want to bite you. They don't even do their research on dogs before they bring them in there. These are just degenerate dirtbags bringing their own pet dogs into schools.
State of West Virginia.
Injustice says that these dogs are estimated to work for around 10 years. But even after the Justice Administration ends, the program will continue.
These people are so disgusting. These people are so degenerate and subhuman. I can't put it into words.
You've probably heard of service dogs or therapy dogs, but Wally here is a facility dog. I got to learn more about the intensive training Wally's gone through and how he's going to make a difference. Once he puts on his vest and badge, Wally is ready to get to work. He's the first ever facility dog at Carillion Children's Tanglewood Center.
You're pushing big steps.
Oh,
helping patients going through...
I'm not showing this. That just got too degenerate for me. Too inhumane for me. Dog lovers, I want y'all to know something. Y'all come over here to my channels, this one and the other one, and you try your best to get me to stop talking about dogs. Oh, this channel is no good. It's nothing that's gonna work. I've been at it for nearly 9 years now. Haven't y'all figured that out? For as long as dog culture is chugging along, I'll be chugging along, calling out every degenerate act they put on display. Because nobody else is. Part of the reason for my passionate disagreement with dog culture. There's nobody in mainstream doing this. And this is work that needs to be done. Dog and dog culture needs negative coverage. They need a lot more negative coverage than I produce. So get used to this type of content. You should have known better at this point. Shout out to all of you able to join me for this live stream. A good dog is a dead dog. And I hope you can join me on the next as we continue with this hate-filled crusade. All for the good though. Keep that in mind. I hate evil. Dogs are nothing but evil. Dog culture is evil. And all they do is hurt people, innocent people primarily. And I will see you all on the next live stream as we continue with this crusade.